This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. So today, we're looking at National Boy Scouts Day. But maybe not in the way you would expect. We're sort of skipping the knots and the campfire songs.
Right.
We're looking at something much more interesting that The Senior Techie highlighted. How a century-old institution is using the cloud to solve a very modern problem.
It's a fascinating pivot, isn't it? I mean, you usually think of scouting as something purely analog.
Totally. Dirt, tents, a compass.
Exactly. But the data shows the movement is rapidly digitizing. And, the strange thing is, it's the older generation that's driving a lot of that utility.
It's this virtual merit badge idea that really caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
I initially thought this was just, a holdover from the pandemic, doing things over Zoom because we had to.
A lot of people did.
But looking at the breakdown from The Senior Techie, it seems this has evolved into a permanent feature for a completely different reason. It's about talent acquisition.
It's purely logistical, really. Think about those specialized badges, nuclear science, programming.
Digital citizenship.
Digital citizenship, yeah.
Yeah.
The odds of a local troop having a qualified expert right in their neighborhood are, they're slim.
Of course.
By moving the counseling online, a retired engineer in Florida can mentor a kid in rural Montana. It democratizes access to that high-level expertise.
That is such a smart application of the whole remote work revolution. We've accepted we can work for a company in another time zone, so why shouldn't we volunteer that way?
It's the same principle.
And honestly, it completely busts that tired myth about seniors being tech-averse. In this case, the senior is often the technical authority in the room, guiding the youth through STEM requirements.
And the Senior Techie points out that specific demand for digital citizenship mentors. There's something, almost poetic about a senior who spent a career in IT teaching a digital native how to navigate the online world safely.
Yeah.
It just removes the physical barriers. You don't need to be able to hike 5 miles to share your brain.
Okay, but that physical barrier aspect is huge. I've seen so many people step back from volunteering because they just can't handle the rigors of a campsite anymore. This keeps them in the game.
It does.
But what about the connection? Does it dilute it? I mean, scouting is so famously about that face-to-face mentorship.
You might think so, but the report suggests it's actually strengthening the intergenerational bond by making it more frequent.
More frequent. How?
Well, instead of waiting for a monthly campout, these touch points can happen more regularly online, and locally we're seeing a shift in the service projects themselves.
You mean it's moving away from scouts just doing things for seniors?
And moving toward working with them.
Right, active collaboration. So it's not just visiting a facility, it's pairing a troop with a senior community to plant a garden or build something together.
Exactly. It's a bilateral exchange. The seniors pass down the soft skills, leadership, patience, history, and the scouts keep the seniors engaged with the pulse of the community. It directly fights isolation.
Speaking of history, there was one other nugget in the Senior Techie material that I loved. The digitization of troop archives.
Oh, this is critical.
We've all got those shoeboxes of photos that are just slowly fading away.
And this is about institutional memory. Former scouts are taking the lead on scanning old troop logs, photos from jamborees in the 70s, and preserving them digitally.
It's not just admin work then.
No, not at all. It's legacy preservation. And because of the virtual meeting tools we mentioned, a former scoutmaster who retired to a different state can still hop into a planning meeting to share context on why the troop does things a certain way.
That completely redefines what it means to be a local volunteer. You don't have to leave your troop behind just because you moved to a warmer climate.
You can be the troop historian from 1,000 miles away.
Amazing.
It ensures that the traditions don't just disappear because the people moved. The technology becomes the container for the culture.
So if you're listening to this and thinking your scouting days are behind you just because you hung up the uniform years ago, you really need to think again. The barriers to entry have basically vanished.
You really have. The movement needs the intellectual capital that seniors possess now more than ever. Whether it's verifying a coding project over a video call or archiving history, the role is there for you.
So here's a thought to leave you with. Audit your own professional life. What specific skill do you have? Maybe it's accounting or graphic design or engineering that you could offer as a virtual mentor. You might be the only person standing between a scout and their next badge. This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to keep up with their newsletters, you can subscribe for free by going to theseniortechie.com.